Welcome to Toro NSN's Training in 10, an innovative, self-paced training module that allows you to get trained and get going. Today's topic is an overview of switches in Lynx Central Control System. While this presentation is demonstrated in Lynx version 5.0, the principles apply to all versions of Lynx. Covered in this Training in 10 is a description of what you could use a switch for, how to create a switch, and how the Lynx software manages the switch. Turning a switch on or off either with a schedule, with a program, or manually, and other NSN training opportunities that are designed to help you become a better manager of your Toro Lynx irrigation system. Let's look at the use for switches in Lynx. With your Lynx software, you can use a switch to control non-irrigation items, even though they may be irrigation related. This means as long as you have a satellite close to the item you would like to control, or you add a new satellite close to that item, or you have a two-wire path in a module system close by, your Lynx software can turn on and off most any electrical item you would like. This could be a greens fan, an injector pump, fertigation or acid injection pump, lighting around the clubhouse, or maybe even lights for tennis courts or a swimming pool area. It could be a water feature or fountain, a pond fill pump, or I have even heard of people put the bathroom door locks on a switch. No matter what it is, if it is electrical, you can control when it comes on and off with your Toro Lynx software. While best installed by a licensed electrician, all that is needed is a relay and an open station in your satellite. Any electrical switch that is an on-off switch can be replaced with an AC relay. It has to be an AC relay and not a DC relay. That AC relay is then wired up to an open satellite station using a common wire and a signal wire, just like you would wire up an irrigation head in your system, or wired to a module in a two-wire decoder system. This relay creates a normally open contact between your power source and the load. The load is the switch you want to turn on and off. The power source is your 24-volt signal wire and common wire that comes directly from the satellite. You will need to choose a station you are not currently using for irrigation to control this item. Once the 24-volt signal is sent to the relay directly from your satellite or two-wire module, the relay closes and the electrical components turn on, just the way you turn on with a switch. Once everything is hooked up electrically out in the field, we need to identify that station that was used in the field so it can be added to Lynx. Setting up a switch is a very simple process that begins here in the Advanced Setup folder and then to the Control System screen. This example is a satellite system, but it is done the same way in a two-wire system. First, I use the plus sign to the left of the word groups to drill into the group, and I see the list of satellites within the group. Then I drill into the satellite that I wired my switch into to see the list of stations. I scroll down to find the open station where I wired that relay. There I enter a name for my switch. I have installed a fertigation pump in the pump house, so I name it fertigation. I then scroll over to the switch column and I put a check in the box. This indicates to Lynx it is a switch and not an irrigation station. You notice this line turns a light blue color. That indicates a switch and not an irrigation station. Also, the word switch is under station tag because the Lynx software handles switches differently than an irrigation station. Once a station is recognized as a switch in Lynx, it is no longer affected by rain hold, nor is it affected by any system-wide holds, stops, pauses, resumes, or system-wide percent adjusts. If you're using a switch to turn on lights around the clubhouse or a fountain out in the pond, you still want those switches to come on even if it is raining and you have your system on rain hold. Thus, these commands do not have an effect on switches. In Lynx, a switch is managed electrically, so it is going to use amperage from the satellite when it is turned on. The amperage for a satellite is set here in the control system. When a switch is on and using amperage, it's also going to use one of the simultaneous stations for that satellite here in the control system. The use of these two resources will have an effect on how many irrigation stations that satellite can turn on. The degree of the effect depends on the type of switch and relay, but I can say it'll be similar to having about one irrigation station running. For more help on this topic, feel free to call Toro NSN at 1-800-275-8676. Now that we have set the switch up in Lynx, let's manage how we can turn the switch on and off. This is done in the Daily Operation folder and the Switch Program screen. Here we can see the fertigation switch we have installed. One way I can manage the switch is to give it a schedule like you would an irrigation station. If I come over to the active days and use the drop-down arrow, you see I can give this switch active day or days. I choose to set all, meaning the station will be active every day for the next 365 days, and then I come down and select Done. I also need to give it a start time. By selecting the drop-down arrow, I see where I can add a start time. Adding a start time has the same capabilities as start times with an irrigation station. Once I have added a start time, then I can choose if I want it to start relative to sunrise, sunset, or time of day. If I choose sunset, then I can put a plus or minus value in the offset column. This will have it start 10 minutes before or 10 minutes after sunset. If I choose time of day, then I put the time of day in that I want it to start. I also set the run time here. Run time for switches is in minutes. The max run time is 1,439 minutes. That is 1 minute short of 24 hours. A switch has to be off for at least 1 minute every 24 hours. If I want this fertigation pump to come on at 8 p.m. and I want it to run for 6 hours, I would put in 360 minutes. Over on the left-hand side, I have a check in the box there. If I want to turn a start time off on a switch, I can just take the check out of the box if I don't want it to come on for a day or a couple days. When I want that start time to be active again, I put the check in the box. Also, just like the watering plan and start times with irrigation stations, I can come down and add multiple start times. When you're all done setting your start times and the run time in minutes, I come down to the X here to close that box. Another way you can schedule a switch is by having it start and stop according to when an irrigation program is running. This operation works very good for a fertigation pump, a well filling an irrigation pond, or maybe a transfer pump that is moving water from another water source into the pond where the pump station is. To do this, you would still set up your active days, but you would not have a start time or a run time. Instead, you'd come over to the box on the right here that says switches running with watering plans. Find the program that you want that switch to come on with. Let's say with our fertigation pump we're putting wetting agent down tonight and we want it to go on our fairways. We would drill in with the plus sign here on the fairways program. There we see our switch fertigation and we would turn it on. We can also have a start offset or a stop offset. So you could have the fertigation pump come on 10 minutes before the fairway program comes on. So that way the lines are all charged with your fertigation. Or you could have it stop before or after the fairway program. Let's say I also want to have that pump with that switch come on when my approaches are running. I'd come down to approaches and drill in. There's my fertigation switch, and I would turn it on there. Now, back over on the scheduling side, we have our active days, and we now see that this fertigation switch is connected with our program number 3, fairways, and our program number 6, approaches. This is a nice tool now. Every time the fairway program or the approach program comes on, the switch comes on, and when those programs shut off, the switch will shut off. Remember, if you're trying to do like a wetting agent, there may be other programs running during that irrigation cycle, so you may want to schedule that program by itself so your wetting agent is only going on the area that you want it to. The last thing on the switch page, you can turn a switch on and off by putting a check in the box. Maybe today you don't want the clubhouse waterfalls or fountain to come on. I can also run a switch manually in the manual irrigation screen. On the top, I choose switches as opposed to hardware or programs. There you see I have added another switch called Clubhouse Lights along with my fertigation pump. I can put a check in the box to select my clubhouse lighting. That makes this green arrow in the middle light up. allowing me to slide that switch over to the box on the right and set it for operation. Then I select my operation to run, and I select my number of minutes and hours, and then I send it to the field. This allows you to turn on any station manually, just like an irrigation station, and also in this example of Clubhouse Lights, you may need to do that to check the operation of a switch or to check to see if any light bulbs are burned out. Also in Lynx, a switch can turn on and off automatically in response to an alarm. Here I created an alarm to turn on a greens fan. I went to the weather alarm. I gave it the name 2Green Fan. Now when these three weather conditions are met at the weather station, temperature greater than 90 degrees, relative humidity greater than 85%, and wind speed less than 10 miles an hour, it will trigger Lynx to take action. Down here in the response area, I selected switch control in the drop-down menu, selected my 2Green Fan switch in the drop-down, turned it on, and told it to come on for 60 minutes. So now when these three weather criteria are met at the weather station, it will send a signal to Lynx that will automatically turn on the switch that controls the fan at 2Green. As you can see, it's very easy to set up a switch in Lynx. You first set it up in the control system according to where you wired it in out in the field. This way Lynx knows it is a switch. Then you schedule it with active days in either a start time and run time, or I can schedule it according to when a program comes on and off. I can turn it on manually in the manual irrigation screen, where I can link the operation of a switch so it is automatic based on the response to an alarm. Switches are a powerful tool in Lynx and another way that the Toro irrigation software can make your job easier and more time efficient. Simple to set up, run, and many times they are overlooked. Well, another 10 minutes has gone by and you've just completed another episode of NSN's Training in 10. Today's topic has been switches. We hope that this Training in 10 lesson was helpful for you to better understand this helpful tool and that it helps further enhance your career working with the #1 irrigation central control product, the Toro Lynx central control system. Be sure to keep looking for future installments of NSN's Training in 10, the self-paced training module that allows you to get trained and get going. If you have any questions about this or about future training module releases, or if you'd like to participate in one of our acclaimed Toro Lynx regional training classes, please contact us by calling 888-676-8676 option 2. Once again, that is 888-676-8676 option 2. Toro NSN Training also invites you to follow us on our Twitter site so you can get the latest updates on where we are, what we are doing, and new training opportunities for you to participate in. You can find us at twitter.com/Toro NSN Training and send a request to follow us. A service offered by Toro NSN Training, NSN Focus Training. Personalized irrigation software training with two options. Online, 1 to 2 hour blocks, topic specific, all done on the web. Or in person, half or full day, addressing multiple topics at your facility. Again, if you're interested, give us a call at 888-676-8676 option 2. Toro and Toro's National Support Network. Count on it.